Hello everyone, it's Sabrina from the Gombe family, and today we are going to talk about my large first aid kit. So if you guys have seen my previous video, it was my mini first aid kit that I keep in my day bag. So I also did a day bag video of what's in my day bag. So this is the mini first aid kit that I recently did a video on. Now I'm going to do a video on this first aid kit. So there's a lot of stuff in here. This might be a long video, but if you guys are looking to make a home first aid kit and be prepared for anything that you might need with your family, I have a family of 4. So if you need to have some ideas for what to put in your first aid kit, stay tuned. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with everything that's in our large first aid kit. This is going to be a pretty long video because there's a lot to go through here, but I think it's really important information if you're trying to build a first aid kit, especially if you're trying to build a first aid kit for living abroad, because these things might not be readily available in the country that you decide to live in. So of course you have to research that for yourself. I have done extensive research on everything that I have here, so please don't take my medical advice, and just make sure that you research for yourself and do what's best for your family. So let's go ahead and get started. So I actually found this from a YouTube video. It's a Tegaderm pad, and it's supposed to be like extreme waterproof, and so if you get like a significant cut, it's like very large. So if you get a significant cut and you're hiking or you're out and about and you're unable to like get that medically treated, then this is going to help you, along with of course alcohol wipes and some triple antibiotic ointment, so that you can make sure that it doesn't get wet and it's protected from the elements. Here I have 2 reusable pads. I personally use a Diva cup, so I have that in my day bag, but I talked to Safari before we came here, and I was like, just so that we could be prepared for when you do get your period, what kind of product do you want to use? Do you want to use something that goes up inside you? Do you want to use a pad? And she said she wanted to use a pad. So I made sure that I had 2 reusable pads just so we could get her started. And I'm sure that we can find those here easily. Okay, so I showed you the video of our mini first aid kit. So in this large first aid kit, we're gonna have a lot of refills of those individual packets. So here we have the SPF 30 sunscreen. I would say we have about 15 of those left. And also when we are out and about and we see someone that has vitiligo, I like to give them one of these packets just so that we can befriend them and show them that we're like here to help, that my husband also has vitiligo, so we understand what they're going through. Many people here that have vitiligo, they don't even understand anything about what vitiligo is about or how it happens, how it gets worse, how it gets better, right? So my husband's cousin, he has vitiligo, and he had never used sunscreen before he talked to my husband recently since I've been here. And so my husband gave him a bottle of sunscreen and told him how to use it and stuff. And he called my husband like a little while after that and was like, it's made such a big difference in like me going outside to work and being in the sun. It's just amazing. So we just want to make people aware of how to help their situations, right? So people with albinism, people with vitiligo, we make sure that we give them a packet if we see them just out while we're in town or anything. Here I have a lot of cough drops. So I have like 5 or 6 packs of these cough drops, so that if any of the girls or me and Shaha get sick, we can feel a little relief with the cough drops. So I have a bunch of different wraps. So this one is not reusable, it's just spandex bandage, and it's the one that has like, and then I also have 2 of these. This is the stuff that they use when you like give blood, and then they put it around your arm to make sure that it's tight. This is the stuff for that. So this is not really reusable either, but this one is. So this is the elastic support bandage. So this has one of those prongs yeah, 2 of those prongs as well. And this one is reusable, so you can use it over and over again. Then we have tape to go along with gauze if we need it. And there's 2 different types of tape here, medical tape. We have many different bandages. So in here we have mini bandages, and also in here we have so many bandages. So we have the Skin Flex ones, we have gauze that goes along with the tape, we have large bandages like this, we have regular size, we have these blister ones, which helps not make blisters worse. We have these ones that are like replacements for stitches that just hold your wound together. More sterile gauze, butterfly bandages, the little tiny bandages. We have all types of bandages in here for whatever the situation may be. And then of course we also have moleskin in here, which is to use for any type of chafing on your feet, especially blisters, anything like that. So we have all of that in here, so we definitely have options if we get any type of small wound. I have here Menstrual Complete, so this is the same as Midol for any like cramps or aches that you might have during your menstrual cycle. And also it's just good for if you don't have ibuprofen on hand or acetaminophen, it definitely helps. Again, here are refills of what's in my mini first aid kit. So these are the insect repellent Ben's wipes, and these definitely work. Do we use them very often? Again, I said in the other video, not very often, but when we do use them, they work very well. I also have the Pepto-Bismol chewables. Everything that I have brought from America, besides the stuff that my mom has sent me, is pretty much all chewables or tablets. Pretty much none of it is liquid because I didn't want to have to put my medical supplies in my liquids bag when going through security to fly here. So I made sure instead of getting the liquid Pepto-Bismol or the liquid medication of sorts, I got all of the like tablet versions. So the chewables of Pepto-Bismol. This is very, very, very important. This is pain, burn, and itch relief. So it cools, soothes, and provides pain relief. So this is actually what they give you in the hospital when you have a baby. So you spray this down there and it's like instant relief. So I like to have this just in case the girls get a cut or whatever the case. It completely numbs the area and makes it feel so much better. We actually used this when one of our nephews, he's only 2 years old, and he got some type of insect bite in a very uncomfortable area, let's just say. And we used this to spray on the area, and at first he like cried because first of all the bug bite hurts, second of all like he's like, what are you doing to me? But afterward there was a lot of relief for him, which was good. That was such a sad situation, but he's a lot better now. Again, more refills. So this is the triple antibiotic refills. We have about 8 of those left. The anti-itch refills, we have about 18 or so of those left. And we also have a lot of these creams in like tubes as well, but I like to have these refills again for my mini first aid kit. So here's more of the triple antibiotic. There's probably 10 in there. And then here's the Blistex refills. Okay, so we also have the electrolyte packets. So I showed one of those in my mini first aid kit. So here are the refills for those, or if we just need them at home. So let's go over these little packets that I have. So we have many different packets that I brought with us from America when we first came here. So we have Excedrin extra strength, and I want to put one of those in my mini first aid kit, but there's not really any space left. Another aspirin, extra strength acetaminophen or Excedrin, migraine, Excedrin, Tums packet. So I was explaining these packets in my previous video. These packets are amazing, and you can get a set of them for like a refill first aid from Amazon, and they're pretty cheap. So I would definitely look into getting these if you're trying to do a small first aid kit or just have backups for your purse or whatever the case may be. This is definitely also something I want to put in my first aid kit in the mini one. This is a multi-symptom cold and flu. And these are actually pretty expensive at the store, but we got these at the Dollar Tree before we left. And so it was, I think it was actually one of these packs for, no, it was two, because only one pill is in here. So it was two of these packs for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So check your Dollar Tree and see if they still have those. And then a refill Myadol pack. So those are all of the little loose packets that we have in our large first aid kit. So now let's go ahead and go to this bag, which has tons of different creams that we use, some more frequently than others. So this is actually Wound Seal. So if you can hear it, it's powder in there, and it's for if you get in a situation where you have a large wound that won't clot or won't stop bleeding, then you can put this in the wound, and it allows for the blood to clot quickly, thus not bleeding to death. So that's very important, and we have two of those in here. We also have hydrocortisone cream. So we have, I think, a couple of those from America and a couple of those from Kenya. So these like tubes that are dented, most of these are from Kenya because we get like different types of tubes from America. The deep freeze relief. So this is if you need some cooling sensation on whatever wound or like muscle ache that you have. And then we also have deep heat. So depending on if you're looking for cold or looking for heat, and those are amazing creams to have when you don't have a freezer or you don't have the ability to have like a heating pad or a hot water bottle or things like that. Those are amazing creams to have to get that relief through heat or through cold. We also have this anti-itch cream. That one is really good, especially when we're in Tezo with the mosquito bites and things. Then a couple of these creams are prescription creams that we got for the MRSA and the other staph infections and ringworm. So we got many different creams when we went to the doctor and asked them what we should use, and they gave us a lot of different creams. So we also have this Afterbite, and we have the liquid form of Afterbite as well, and that comes in handy a lot. So these are all different creams for the staph infections and the ringworm that I was talking about. And then this is the Kenyan version of Oragel. So I won't go over all of the prescription creams that we got for those different staph infections and things, because of course that's something that you want to talk to your doctor about, and it's something that you might not even need in your first aid kit depending on your location and what you are surrounded with. So go ahead and research what is going to be in the area that you're going to live in and see what you might need. Okay, so we have chewable aspirin. Again, everybody knows chewable aspirin is great for a heart attack, so I just keep that on hand in here just in case. Motion sickness. So motion sickness medicine is not something I would think that I would ever have in my first aid kit, but my 9-year-old Georgina gets serious motion sickness whenever we get in a car or a bus or anything. So I make sure that I always have this on hand. We don't necessarily use it if we're just going like into town, which is like a 45-minute drive, but if we're going like to Tezo or back to Nairobi, that's like a 8 to 12 hour drive, we definitely use this, and sometimes we even give it to her again like at the halfway point. So this is prescription medicine that is Safari's, and then this is the adult version. This is for malaria. So we made sure that we got malaria medicine before we left the United States. Even though it's very cheap here, we thought that we would get it. We had to get our yellow fever shot, and it actually came with our yellow fever shot. So we went ahead and got that, and it was covered by our medical insurance. So that was very awesome that we didn't have to pay for it, but it's just good to have. We definitely haven't taken it yet, and don't take it on a regular basis because we're not traveling here, we live here. So that medicine actually takes a toll on your body, so we don't want to have to take that routinely just in case we get malaria. Malaria is not something that you are most likely not gonna die from. So you just get like really sick, like the worst flu of your life. So my husband has had malaria before, and we have the medicine to take in case we get malaria. So we're just really cognizant of that and what the symptoms are. Okay, so when I came here, I got a lot of these like little tube, like to-go situations. So this is allergy relief and Aleve. I think those are the only two like tube ones we have left because we actually used the rest. And then also we have this, which is Cold Calm. So it's like a kid's medicine for colds. So as many of us know, like you can't really speed up the recovery of a cold. It's kind of just going to take its course, but you can make the child a little bit more comfortable. And as I've said before, if you just give the child something, it kind of gives them that like placebo effect, you know, like, oh, my mom gave me something, like she cares, she's nurturing me, she's taking care of me. So I make sure that I always have something like that on hand. So we talked about Liquid Skin before. This is the spray version of Liquid Skin, and I actually haven't used the spray one yet, but I have used the liquid one, which is right here. So I got both of these. I think that this is an amazing product. I often use it when I cut myself in the kitchen so I can continue on with the meal. So that's definitely come in handy. Here's another refill of our burn creams. And then we also have alcohol in this type of situation. So we could just use like tissue or a rag to put the alcohol where we need it. We have hand sanitizer in here, and then we also have a large container of hand sanitizer in our living room so that we can use on a routine basis. We have calamine lotion, which everybody knows is used for itch relief. So I like to have multiple different options, especially when it comes to stuff that happens to us consistently. So when the staph infection things were happening, that's very itchy, and mosquito bites are really itchy. So I have the itch pads, I have the after bite, I have the calamine lotion, I have all of these different things. I also have one of those Zap It things that's actually, I don't know where it is, might be in my drawer, but it's out of my first aid kit because I use it so often. Every time I get a mosquito bite, that's the first thing that I use. Okay, so these are actually UTI test strips. So again, I have mentioned in my medical experiences in Kenya video, as well as my first aid kit for my day pack video, how much I have had negative experiences with UTIs in Kenya. So I make sure that I have everything that I need to diagnose a UTI and to fix a UTI situation. So if you listen to or watch my medical experiences in Kenya video, you will see what negative experiences I've had with the medical system, especially when it comes to curing my UTIs. So I have definitely taken that upon myself to make sure I can do everything that I need to put myself in a comfortable position, because unfortunately no one else is going to help me. So that is one of the things that I use to make sure that the situation is good. In my previous video with the mini first aid kit, I talked about this. This is actually, as you can see, a oral bedroom spray. but I use it for tooth pain, and it is the best thing I have ever tried for tooth pain. So I do have an American Orajel in here. Have I opened it yet? Yeah, it is open. So I have an American Orajel in here, and then as you saw in my creams bag, I have a Kenyan Orajel in here, and then I have this spray. So as you heard in my previous video, tooth pain and vagina pain are the worst pains that you can possibly have, in my opinion. So I want to make sure I have multiple different things to cure those areas to make myself as comfortable as possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and come over here. I have many different refills for the sting relief pads, as well as the alcohol prep pads. And then also in this stack here, I have our medical insurance cards these are for Ohio. So these are our medical insurance cards for the state of Ohio. And then we also have medical insurance cards for the state of California. I don't even know if they're still like up to date, which doesn't matter because we don't plan on going to the United States for years to come, but just in case. And then we also have the printouts of our prescriptions, just in case. So the prescriptions for, we got a prescription for travelers, like traveler's diarrhea, like food poisoning type situation. And then we also got a prescription for the malaria pills. So we have both those prescriptions just in case we travel and we take them with us. We have inhaler, which is Safari's, and her prescription is actually taped to it. And we have that just in case. We haven't had to use that actually in a long time, but it's just to be, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that's always good to have. And then this, oh, it smells so good. It smells like the green peppermint lifesavers. So good. But it's kind of like a Tiger Balm. It's the same thing, but like a Kenya brand. And I have that. And I also have Tiger Balm, but I don't think I have that in this first aid kit. I'm not exactly sure where I put that. But yeah, that's just so good for aches and pains. We use it sometimes like at the end of the day if we've walked a long ways or something like that. I have another vaginal suppository for yeast infections, just in case. And I have one of those also in my mini first aid kit in my day bag. I have the like CVS brand of Pepto-Bismol chewables. Some more tape for the gauze. And then I have 4 different sets of gloves, just in case we're dealing with a serious wound or whatever the case may be that you don't want to actually touch with your hands. I have a thermometer in here to make sure that nobody has a temperature. And then I have 2 different kinds of eye drops in here. And this one says eye and ear drops. I thought that was super weird until I looked it up, and it said that like a lot of eye drop or eye issues and ear issues can be cured with the same thing. So this one says particularly eye drops, and then this one says eye and ear. So good thing we have both of those. Then this one is gas relief. And I also have gas relief in my mini first aid kit. I have some scissors in here just in case we need to cut the gauze or the tape or whatever the case may be. Here are some refills of the powder acetaminophen, and then the chest congestion for kids, the mini melts. Now, a few more things, and then we'll get to all of the different prescription medications that we've gotten since we've been in Kenya for different issues like the staph infections and things like that. So I have different safety pins and rubber bands. I also have super glue. So super glue is sometimes used to keep a wound together, especially if you don't have anything else first aid kit related on you at that moment. It's not medically recommended, but it is very useful when you're in a situation where you need it. Okay, so now we're going to get to all of the different medications that we have for different issues that we've that have arisen since we have been in Kenya. So here are Action, that's what it's called. It's basically like Excedrin, but the Kenyan version. So it comes in 2 packs, so I just have that in a Ziploc bag here. We also have Tums, the Kenyan version. Acetaminophen, extra strength. This is the anti-itch medicine that we use for mosquito bites, for staph infections, for anything like that. It definitely helps from the inside out to stop the itch and take the edge off. So when I was having my UTI issues, I was kind of like self-diagnosing and self-treating, which a lot of people wouldn't recommend. I don't suggest you do it. Don't blame me if it goes wrong, but it definitely worked out for me. So initially I was using doxycycline, which is of course a prescription in America, but in Kenya, not many things are prescription in the sense that you can't buy it unless you get a doctor's permission. Here, it's kind of like you have the money, you buy whatever you have with the money that you have, right? So I bought doxycycline initially, and that's what I was using for the UTI issues. And then I went to the doctor and researched more and found out that nitrofurantoin would be the best option in regards to that. So I also have nitrofurantoin. I needed it to be portable, so I put it in a bag. Probably not the best situation if somebody checks my bag, but it's okay. So then we have, this one is for MRSA, and it's the kids medicine, antibiotics for MRSA. It's called, it has amoxicillin and flucloxacillin, I don't know. But yeah, that's what we used for the MRSA staph infection for the kids, because they started getting that too. And then there was, here is the medicine that we used for ringworm. So we don't need it anymore because ringworm is not been an issue for us, but we have it if we need it. And that's kind of what we're trying to get at. We don't want to have to go to the pharmacy in the middle of the night because something serious is going on. We don't want to have to go see a doctor and be like, oh, here's all of my money, like, so that you can tell us something that we already know, right? We know what ringworm looks like. We know what MRSA looks like. We know what staph infections look like. If those things come up, we have the antibiotics to treat them. Do we overuse antibiotics? No, because I don't like using medicines. But do we have them in case these situations arise and we need them, or somebody in the village needs them while we're there? Absolutely we do, and I love having it that way. So we have Ducalax, so that's a laxative. We have turmeric, which my mom sent me, which is a really good all-natural supplement. We have this MRSA antibiotics, which is for adult MRSA. Then we have this one, which is for the staph infections that we were having, and that's what we have left of that one. Then this is, oh, okay. This is the anti-diarrhea medicine. This one is for MRSA as well. And this is the same thing. Both are amoxicillin. Okay, so that's about everything that is in my first aid kit, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas on what to put in your first aid kit. Please don't take my medical advice. We just have gathered these things, not all at once, but when we needed them based on different medical issues that we've had. We have a lot more medical issues than the next person might, because we moved to a climate and to a environment that was a lot different than our sheltered American environment, which definitely caused some issues for our bodies initially. Are we doing much, much better? Yes, and I am so happy about that. But do we still want to keep these medicines in our repertoire just in case, definitely. So I wouldn't change anything about our first aid kit, but please let me know if you guys think that I am missing something, because I would love to hear that. I have access to American Amazon and my mom sends me things on a quarterly basis. So if I have forgotten anything that is important and you think would be worthwhile for us, let me know down in the comments, because I will definitely get access to that and make sure it is in our first aid kit. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!